What's up YouTube, Dad here from FELGRAND, and we are here with Luke, who also brought you a Blue Eyes budget deck and an Yugioh deck, and today he's bringing you, what do you want to call it before I burn the name?
FELGRAND DEMISE.
FELGRAND DEMISE. Right, okay. With Christian as well, but you know.
Yeah, no,
anyway, without further ado, we'll let Luke crack onto it.
Okay, so first off is 2 FELGRAND, 2 Arcbrave. Too many of them can brick fairly easily. And of course you just keep rotating these around. FELGRAND banishes 1, and when it destroys a monster, special summons 1, which just brings back Arcbrave. When it's destroyed, it special summons a level 7 or 8 dragon from the grave, which just reoccurs the circle again. The great thing is, I've started playing this deck simply to counter the most meta of decks right now, Metal Foes, because this has the additional effect of when it's special summoned from the grave, it banishes all spells and traps, which include the scales. So I've had it where I've just locked down whatever my opponent can do. You run so much revival and you revive on their turn that they'll get all their plays off, and then depending on the timing, you bring these out and they've got what, 3 cards in hand by the time they can actually do anything. So that's base. I'm running a little Blue Eyes engine of a White Stone of Ancients and Dragon Spirit of White. I found that this really helps to keep in pace with other decks. You can either, if you're not playing say Card of Demise or Pot of Duality on the turn that you've got these, if you send this to grave you get an instant monster end phase and a pop one, and a banish one, sorry, and it just helps to the engine keep going. I've often banished this from the grave to add this back to hand, and then it lets me discard again to keep going with Dragon Ravine. So that's those 2. A Morphage Goliath for extra deck lockdown. Again, that just destroys Metal Foes and a lot of decks that special summon from the extra deck. It's all round just messes up pendulum decks. The great thing about it is a lot of decks that do a lot of pendulum don't run many Metal Foes really. So they're waiting for their Regeki, and you've just got this on board just attacking stuff again and again. And it's not like you need to special summon from the extra deck with this deck, so you can just keep special summon from the grave. What I'm trying out recently is a Dragon Core Hexer for Ultimate plays. You set so many cards that it's, why not? It's honestly 3 dragons, and it just extends your kind of variety of stuff you can bring back with your dragons, because most of the ones you bring back are 7 or 8 anyway. So it just helps to make the engine go quicker. Archlord Christia, everyone hates this card. I hate this card, but I still play it. It locks down all special summons, and the fact you get all your revival off first and then just play your 1 Call of the Haunted or Oasis, bring that out, and they can't do anything. This card is stupid and everyone hates it because I played a game recently against Dark Lords where they turn 1 Christian me, got me down to about 400, then I destroyed it and Christian him, and it just was in between of Christia. It's so stupid. That's all the monsters. Next is triple Cards of Demise, your main draw engine. It helps unclog your hands a ton. Whenever you draw any of these dragons, it's not that great. You probably want 1 in hand at any given time, simply for Dragon Ravine. But you want to unclog them and get just tons of back rows sorted. You want to fill up your back rows so much that a Twin Twister won't really affect you too much. Continuing with drawing, a triple Pot of Duality. Again, the whole thing with Cards of Demise and Pot of Duality is you can't special summon your turn, which is fine because all you do is special summon in their turn and then disrupt their plays, and then when it comes around to your turn you do all of your damage and even more special summons. That's those. 2 Dragon Ravine and 2 Terraforming. I don't like the idea of running 3 Terraforming and 2 of the field spell. That's been something that a lot of decks do, which I dislike. I get that you can use it as a discard, but you send so much to the grave that Terraforming... You send so much to the grave early on that Terraforming becomes a dead card very early on. So yeah, that's why I only played 2. And Dragon Ravine's great, especially if you end up with a FELGRAND or Arcbrave in hand, because you just send one or the other to the grave, then with the effects you send the other one, and you've got on turn 1 FELGRAND straight on the board. 2 Dragon Shrine. This is one of the first cards that I put to 1 when I side. 1's useful for the stone to send that, or send in a spirit and another one. So sending the spirit and an Archbrave to get a turn 1 to 5 beta is fine, but it's one of the first cards to go out. The only reason I put the second one in is for Dragon Core Hexer. But again, it is just a Foolish Burial really for this deck. Now for back row destruction, double Twin Twister, double MST. I'm thinking of bumping Twin Twister down 1 for another MST, simply because with Cards of Demise you don't have much cards in hand, and you discard so much that it becomes a little bit dead, and it's kind of slow, if in a strange way. So MST's an on the spot pop 1, it's fine, and it's really just the back row that's face down you destroy, whereas Archbrave deals with all the face up ones like scales and continuous spells and traps. 2 Return the Dragon Lords. You don't really special summon in your turn, like I said. It does help like get the engine going again to bring out the Felgrand to destroy a monster, special summon another dragon, and then just go off from there. This is another card I put to 1 because again, it's something you want to see late game when you've used up all of your Cards of Demise and Pot of Dualities. So that's another card that goes to 1 when I want to side. 1 Regeki, obvious, and a Foolish Burial, which is pretty much a third Dragon Shrine. Mainly use Foolish Burial for Christia though, just to get it in grave early. I very frequently got turn 1 Christia, and everyone hates it. Revival is triple Call the Haunted, triple Oasis of Dragon Souls. What's useful is Oasis Dragon Souls helps to protect against cards that specifically go against dragons, so it's like it changes the worm. It's also just another revival that you don't have to put in attack, so if they're going to damage you for that last little bit of damage, you just save yourself. And a lot of times you just bring back Archbrave, get the banish off on the field spells or scales, let them destroy Archbrave, turn you on your standby phase, you get a Felgrand back, so it just starts off the combo again. But it's just so useful to get these face down early game. 2 Solemn Strikes. If I had another one, I'd put it up to 3, although 2 does work out fine a lot of times. It's very much just in testing still. I might bump it up to 3 though. 2 Breakthrough Skills. A card that not many decks use now, but I found it really helps out with people's chains and combos. If you can disrupt the combo early on, you've, for all intents and purposes, forced them to think of a different way to get around it. And also when they've got a dodgy effect when you're about to attack them, you just banish it and you get another negate. And last trap is Quaking Mirror Force, because I love this card and nobody else does. It helps with non-targeting, because it just helps to flip everything face down, let you beat over. So that's all the main deck. The extra deck, because I have a White Stone of Ancients and a Dragon Spirit of White, play 1 Spirit and 1 Azure. That's just to help go into an even bigger engine, which includes Black Rose Moonlight Dragon and Michael, and also helps with Crystal Wing to get that revival on the stone again, to then just bump these up into net. Then after these all in the grave, you just got tons more revive for your Felgrand and Call of the Hornets, and Return the Dragon Lords. The next few cards I'm still debating on, swapping out for a few different ones. Scrap Dragon helps to get rid of Call of the Haunteds that are left on the field through whatever means that they've got rid of the monster except by destruction. So it does give you pretty much free pop. So I played 1 of them, it's not really, I don't use them too much. Stardust Spark just for survival and that, another level 8. Then the Ultimaya build, which is just 1 Ultimaya, and I also try the Ultimity, because it's fun to just fill up their board and get that, attack their last monster for 8k. So that's just pretty fun to use. And then for the Ultimaya targets, apart from the Crystal Wing in there's also Void Ogre and BLs, because BLs is great. So that's all the synchros. And the last ones are the XYZ. I wish I had more space because I'd put in a few different ones as well. But I have the Hope Harbinger because it's a great XYZ to have, get the lockdown. Because this deck is all about locking down. If you just stop them from using a spell every turn, then it just slows them down even more. Then I've got Prime Photon, Full Armor, and Dark Matter. I wish that I had room for a Cypher, which is probably what Scrap Dragon will change into. It's just I haven't had the time really to grab a hold of a Cypher yet, but I'll get a Cypher and swap out Scrap Dragon most likely, or Spark. I've got an extra deck. It's not really that in depth yet. It's really just a bit thrown together because you got to. Yeah, it's really just thrown together. Although the first thing that tends to get sided in is 2 Thunder Kings. So that's what I normally swap out the Return of the Dragon Lords and the Dragon Shrines for. They're a great card. They slow down the opponent really quickly. Play a Ghost Ogre. I'm thinking of bumping up to 2, but it's really just finding the room and just finding out what works for the extra deck. A Maxi, again, I'd play 2 most likely in the extra deck's just getting hold of the second one. I put in a Jinzo for shenanigans against Paleozoics really. While you don't really want to slow down your traps, if you use all say your revival first, then it's not like Jinzo destroys them, so Jinzo doesn't interrupt your plays as much, and then all your spells can just help to get everything off. I mean, a lot of your revival is off a monster effect, so it's great. Gamma Seal because Kaiju. The third Terraforming in case I ever do get in a bad spot where I do need to find that card early on, the Dragon Ravine. Soul Charge, obvious. Burial, simply to get back my own banish, because while I do a lot of banishing on the opponent's deck, if it happens to me, I don't have any good ways to get it back, so I need that engrave. And I'm still wondering if that works with Arc Brave, because if I send it from the... Yeah, so I'm not sure yet with that. I've got one Dark Hole just for another Regeki. Also, it's great because you pop your own Arc Braves, triggers off your Dragon's effect again. Torrential, same thing. 2 Imperial Iron Walls. Sometimes when I just get the lock off, I don't need to banish anything, and their deck relies on banishing. It just helps out with slowing them down as well. The third Breakthrough skill, with effect heavy monsters on the board, then it just helps out more. Royal Decree, I'd like to bump this up to 2, maybe even 3, just to help lock down more.
Instead of Breakthrough skill, why don't you play why do you play Breakthrough skill over something like Effect Veiler? Because being Effect Veiler, you got another tuner, and then.
The problem with Effect Veiler and hand traps mainly is you do discard your hand a lot, and you draw your cards of demise, and stuff don't stay in your hand very long with this deck, and that's the problem with Twin Twister as well. It's like you're discarding so much already that you just don't have it in your hand to use. But no, I have thought of Effect Failures. It would help with Synchro players more. But yeah, another Royal Decree would help still. I was also running Forbidden Chalice for a time, but it was bumping them up slightly above mine because my monsters get to about... Felgrand regularly gets to between 3-2 to 3-6. That's about the average attack he normally gets to. And with their 3k beaters, with their 3-5 beaters, an extra 400 kind of helps them. So Breakthrough skill I find is just a lot better. And the last one is Drowning Mirror Force. I'd probably swap it out for another Quaking, but Drowning helps shuffle everything into their deck, so it's pretty great. So that's the entire side deck as well.
Perfect time.
That's everything. Perfect time.
Danny's just bought a pack of Dark Illusion, pulled a Coral, so Danny went and bought the rest of the packs and pulled a pot. So, anyway, thanks for watching. That's kind of a nice anti-meta deck that can be a real pain in the ass, can lock stuff out.
Fairly cheap.
Yeah, fairly cheap.
It's very cheap. I mean, you literally buy a couple...
2 structure decks, isn't it?
2 structure decks. You don't even need 3 Return the Dragon Lords. It's very much you can play 1.
And the Kyber deck from the Yugioh's collection.
And you can even buy just a Megatin as well, pull maybe a Twin Twister, Solemn Strike, which I play in here, and you get your Spirit as well. So it's pretty cheap. It's very much the expensive cards are just things you can swap out. Yeah,
cool. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Obviously this is more of a fun deck. It can be competitive, but Luke's not going to be taking it to Worlds or YCSs or anything anytime soon. So he's always open for improvements. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. And as always, guys, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.